Amidst a lot of talks of geopolitical news flow around us, including news flow coming from Russia. Welcome to the Trade Setup with me, Niraj Shah. Let's take stock of what the markets are doing. I'm going to focus on markets today because there are a lot of stocks that we need to speak about today, some of which I don't even have graphics for. But the US markets were quiet. Our futures are quiet as well, maybe 1/3% lower, which is okay. Asia started off mixed. Some of the early risers were in the green. Shanghai and Hang Seng in the green. Nikkei were flattish. I would reckon that our markets will be a flattish start. The implied open just about 8 odd points. So this could move anyway, right? So expect, this is as of 7:45, of course. So what's the trade setup for the day? The technical setup, by the way, is very wobbly because key support levels were broken. 24472. Remember, 24750 was the key support level. That's been taken out like knife through butter. And therein lies the problem here. But quant indicators are suggesting that a reversal is around the corner. Now, whether that happens today, tomorrow, next week, nobody knows. Usually the build up towards Diwali should be constructive. Let's hope that's what happens. Let's hope the gods smile upon the bulls. Con calls of various companies, though, indicate an uptick in H2. Yesterday, people who attended con calls, our research team as well, and about 6 or 7 con calls that were attended, the commentary from companies which perform weak in Q2 have suggested a pickup in H2. Supreme Industries a case in point, and we did the interview with them and just look at what they had to say as well about Q2 or H2 rather, and that tells you a story. HNI investors are nibbling in beaten down pockets, particularly in financials. Sorry, we missed that line, but particularly in financials. I think that is the point to monitor, and therefore watch out for some of the financial led names in today's trade. IPO corner, well, Wari Energies and Deepak Builders, second day yesterday, both of them subscribed well thus far. I would suspect that the numbers will look solid at the end of today's trade, and a lot of earnings in focus. I'll watch out for some specific names here. So HUL and the commentary around rural, very important. KPIT Tech and the commentary around ER&D spends important because HCL Tech and some of the others have all stated that the auto space is not looking all that great. I'll watch out for Godrej Properties and the pre-sales that they're talking about. Pidilite, a rural commentary again, which has been very strong for them. And 2 most important things today, TVS Motors. After Bajaj Auto's commentary, TVS Motors becomes very important, as does United Spirits, simply because alcohol sector seems to be in a cusp of a very strong uptick. Is United Spirits talking about that? That's the key question. I think the con calls of all of these would be important. We'll bring you details about some of these. Now, stocks to focus on. Bajaj Finance. Q2 was in line, by the way, but it was the slowest sequential growth in over 8 quarters for Bajaj Finance. The Q3 and Q4 QOQ growth of 6.3% is required to clock in a 28% YOY growth in FY25 as per the guidance. Now, can they do that? Yes, they have done it in the past as well. The only thing is, it's a wait and watch. The management believes that the cost of funds has peaked for them, which is actually a good sign too. And MK, for example, reiterates a buy, but a lower target price of 8,800. Morgan Stanley says this is the bottom. Go out and buy Bajaj Finance. Their target price is 9,000. Watch out. Even if this starts off slightly lower, it might well see buying at the lower levels. So watch out for Bajaj Finance. M&M Finance, a strong quarter was anticipated. They've delivered, yes, maybe slightly lower than some estimates. And the couple of chinks in the armor. Now let's go to the previous plate. Q2 FY25 provisions are up sharply quarter on quarter in YOY. And the ROA guidance has been trimmed. So there are some chinks in the armor. Let's see how this one reacts in the session today. Difficult to call. Adani Green, very good quarter. Revenues up 38%. EBITDA margin in on around the 72, 73, 75 mark. And net profit up 39%. So couldn't find too many faults with this one. Let's wait and watch if this one reacts positively. Zomato, again, difficult to call because it's good solid quarter. Revenues up 68% at 4,799 crores. They've EBITDA margin at 4.7. The estimate is 4.5. PAT is up 388% at 176 crores versus 36 crores. They approved raising the funds of up to 8,500 crores via QIP. Now, why this is happening, and some inkling of that is given in the management commentary which Citigroup has put out. So Citi says, and let me quote, Citi is saying that Zomato may raise up to $1 billion in additional funding via QIP. The management pointed to the recent competitive fundraisers while reiterating focus on growth strategy execution versus on discounts. Citi is saying that they are cognizant of the discounts, but they take into consideration only somewhat increased risks in their profitability estimates because of discounts. Now, just keep in mind, viewers, the one thing, yesterday we recorded an interview with Rhythm Desai. He mentioned that quick commerce is the pocket where 4 or 5 biggies want to enter, and therefore competitive intensity could be heightened. So watch out for Zomato, difficult to call. What is easy to call are the next 3 or 4 stocks. Persistent, solid performance. Revenues up 5.84% in line with estimates. EBIT margin 14% versus 14.3. Estimate was 13%. Net profit up 6% quarter on quarter at 325. The estimate was 316 crores. Good, solid quarter, even if it's not beaten estimates by a wide margin because the estimates are heightened. I think the street might reward this one. So do watch out. It's an expensive stock, but may reward. Amber was down in trade yesterday, but look at the numbers. 81% uptick, 1685 versus estimates of 1205. Margins at 6.8 versus 7, you would argue largely in line. Net profit 21 crores versus a loss of 5.7 crores. The estimates were 4 crores. I think this will see a bit of a reversal in the session today. Electra, solid numbers again. Revenues up 70%. Margins at 15.5 versus 13.2. Net profit at 47 crores versus 18.6 crores. Good, solid performance. Very likely could reverse some of the losses today. Indus Towers, again, very good quarter. Revenues up 4.6% at 7465 there. They're in line, but EBITDA margins 1727 basis points higher. Let's stick with this for a moment. 65.73%. The estimates, let's go to that plate. 65.73%. The estimates were 55.5%. Very solid margin beat. And therefore, as a result of which the PAT number 71% higher at 2223 crores versus estimates of 1749 crores. So could do well in the session today. GMDC and IFL Securities could do well. GMDC revenues up 54%. Margins expand 1,000 basis points. PAT up 71%. Solid quarter, will react positively. IFL Securities, total income up 32%. Net profit up 90%. Again, the stock was down, but the results seem okay. May react. So some of these stocks may reverse some of the losses of yesterday. Shoppers Stop will not have such luck. Revenues are up 7.3% merely, and look at the margin performance as well as the net loss. So margins crack, net loss at 20.53 versus 2.73. Street may punish. Max Financial, the street may punish. Total income 31.3%, but net profit down 18%. Very likely could react. Welspun Speciality will get taken to the cleaners, I would reckon. So watch out for this one as well. Revenues down, EBIT margin down, net loss increased. So watch out for this one. Chennai Petro too. Revenues down 29.2%, EBITDA flat, and the net loss of 634 crores versus 357 crores. Very likely may react negatively. A couple of small names, Signity and Choice International had very good quarters. Signity PAT was up over 5x with margin expansion, and Choice International revenues up 30%, PAT up 55%. May react positively as well. Lastly, a couple of stocks in news. Reliance Infra to set up a project for manufacturing explosives, ammunition and small arms in Maharashtra. Will invest over 10,000 crores over the next 10 years. Allotted 1,000 acres of land in Ratnagiri. Never know with this one, but may react positively. Sonara Software has received a multi-year AI-powered managed services contract. May react positively. I haven't mentioned Paytm has gotten the NPCI clearance. Big shot in the arm. Paytm, just bring up that stock very quickly if we can. Paytm could well turn out to be the stock of the day today. So keep an eye out on Paytm. That's the one name that you got to remember. And lastly, as a note on Gravita, the stock was down about 11% yesterday on a miss in the quarter, but two brokerages, MK and Motilal Oswal, have both maintained their positive stance. So watch out for Gravita. May see a bit of a reversal today. We need the markets to be stable for all these reversals to happen, but some of the result-led reversals very likely. Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup.